Have you ever wondered who you are? Who you are to other people? What other people think? How you act? What kind of bucket do you fit in? What is your personality type? What do you like to other people in your daily life? When you're at work, from the 9 to 5? Do other people see you as a different personality? Have a listen and enjoy. So I'm Dan.
And I'm Nick, folks.
We're old friends dissecting one topic at a time. People, technology, media, we've got it all covered.
Each discussion here is a deep dive into our unique perspective. The taboo, forbidden subjects, they're all on the chopping block, baby. We don't pander to popular opinion. We might even get a little bit dirty.
Warning, this podcast may contain mature language and sexual content and is for infotainment purposes only.
So join us. Have a good time.
Open up your ear holes, because we're going to fondle your follicles.
Oh my God, that's good. Holy snap. Snap.
Gets
How
me.
do you live?
How do you live? Gets you right in the mood.
It does, doesn't it? It gets me in the mood every time.
Wow. So we're going to talk about personality types, and you're referencing an old episode, which I think is douchebag.
No, I'm actually referencing an old episode called Jobs, Employment, and I remember one commenter said, I look fat in my old shirts, so I was proving a point. And that same commenter, Dildork44, I'm calling you out, buddy, he said I couldn't even tie my own tie. He figured, and I figured if I just showed up with a tie on, he would think I had my mommy do it, and I just,
use the same tie over and over again.
When I was like in first and second grade, I used to do that.
Or in high school. Yeah.
No, I knew how to tie a tie by high school.
Yeah, but did you use the same tie over and over again? I did.
I had a different. Did you?
Yeah, I'd throw it over my the headrest on the car, and I'd pull it off and just tighten it up like an inch.
All right, you can do.
Yeah. Our friend over here has just started a new job. He's trying to impress people.
I wear a tie to my job now. I'm a tie. How do you like that?
Trying to show that he's
Dildork44.
Both sensitive and assertive and listening and commanding at the same time. It's very difficult to do.
Is that what a tie does? Oh.
Yeah. You're very assertive with your affect, but your whole personality is very soft and gentle.
Oh, interesting. I can be a daddy. Is that what you're saying? Or a sub? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what that means, really. What does that really mean?
We're not going to get into it right now. What we will get into, though, is that...
You want to talk about the different kinds of personality and how they were grouped before and how people thought other people's personalities were generated?
Well, sure. That's literally where I was going to start off.
Wow, yeah.
I was actually going to say, hey, how are you doing, Dan?
Oh, I'm doing well.
We don't have as much back and forth discourse. Some of the people want to make sure you're okay.
I'm quite fine.
To check to make sure you're okay.
I don't care. You're okay. I know you're okay, Nick.
You like sports? I'm just trying to
did
talk to you. This is what a salesman does, okay?
Yeah.
Friendship. I want to connect on some kind of level.
I will say I watched...
That's a cool shirt.
Oh, thank you. Stop talking about me. I'm sensitive. I like to stay on the wall. I like to be a wallflower. Please do not point out any of my personality traits. I get nervous when people talk about me. But that Eagles game, the last throw, when they gave him an extra fifth down.
Fifth down, baby. They made the stop.
Yeah, that was good.
Holy crap. That was terrible. I had heartburn, blood pressure issues. I was drinking too much, which led to me drinking too much more. It was a weeknight. That was just terrible. I hate the Eagles. Being a fan of the Eagles means you hate them more than anything in the world, and they make you curse and scream and drink too much and do terrible things and throw furniture and you raise your blood pressure and you scream at everyone. And that's for a win.
Yeah. And everyone understands.
The Eagles. Yeah, I am.
Did you ever try to climb one of those greased light poles?
I would have. I think we discussed this back when we were doing the podcast and they won the Super Bowl. I don't know if anyone heard about that. But I 100%, if this was 6 years prior, I'd be in the epicenter of all that crazy stuff. With the kid now, he's really slowed me down. He's ruined my game. I would throw so many glass bottles. I would break open a Brinks truck. I would somehow break into it, and it's not even for personal gain. I would just start throwing money in the air because I was so happy. Destruction of property that leads to happiness. I can't explain it.
I wonder if a Brinks truck has ever driven through a riot before.
Terrible decision. Although I guess they're built for anything, really, right? Another riot.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
Throw those money bags up out the side there. So let's talk about humorism, which is one of the previous thoughts about how people generate their own personalities or where their personalities come from. And it really comes from their fluids. There's 4 different humors.
Real quick.
It's not semen, no.
Blood.
Yep.
Pus.
No.
Sweat.
No.
Piss.
Nope.
Bile.
Bile, you got one. There's 2 different kinds
blood?
of bile, so you got
Good.
blood,
black bile,
black bile, and yellow bile.
And yellow bile. That's what I said. I was getting there. And blood and
phlegm.
Fluid. Phlegm. Damn it.
So
anyway,
most of these are
where personality comes from.
Yeah, well, a lot of it has to do with like malady. So if you're sick and one of those things are not in the right proportion, they said back then, he would have some sort of malady. So they would drain them or add to them and try to manipulate what's going on there. So that's actually the precursor to modern medicine because they wanted to remove your phlegm when you're congested. They wanted to modify your blood. If your blood was lacking iron or something, they'd try to hype you up by giving you certain herbs, and the herbs would make you feel better. So it would fix your personality by making sure you were medically sound.
So a personality is really just an imbalance.
Well, yeah, well, I guess in today's society, you can just take a pill and you can be whoever you want, right?
Doesn't it neutralize you, though?
It does neuter you, I would say.
Yeah, not neutralize, neuter. That's a better word for it.
Exactly. Yeah. So there were different temperaments attached to the blood, the yellow bile, the black bile, and the phlegm.
Anger. Oh, blood's got to have anger in it, doesn't it? Or is that black bile?
It was it's weird. So they have like seasonal. They have seasons, ages, elements, organs, qualities, and temperament. So the blood is actually spring. The age is infancy, which is young, vitality. And the element is air. The organ is liver, because the liver is very bloody. Moist and warm is the quality. They had different kinds of like what you would do. Like if you were like clammy, they'd try to like dry you up and warm you up. So they do things to you. So moist and warm is blood. And then your temperament is sanguine.
Oh, sanguine. Isn't it wise and calm or something like that?
Sanguine.
Or did I just add the wise part?
Enthusiastic, active, and social.
Wow. That was the opposite.
Vitality. So the other ones were choleric, which is yellow bile, melancholic, which is black bile, and then phlegmatic is phlegm. I don't know. I'm curious what phlegmatic. Yeah, how do you define phlegmatic? It's relaxed, peaceful, quiet, and easygoing because they can't talk.
Really?
Because they're phlegmatic.
Oh, I'm wearing green. Does that mean I'm phlegmatic? I think I can be phlegmatic.
You could. Yeah. I think
talk too much. I talk too much, though.
Nick over here, he's always so phlegmatic.
Man, it's phlegmatic. Let me show you. Let me introduce you.
Let me slap this tile for you. You could fit 20 Nicks right in this tile. Right on top of this tile. Just slide them right on.
You fit 20 personalities in this bad boy.
So that kind of focused in on personality types, which I think there's too many people. There's 2 main people. Carl Jung. And he
Jung was subconscious.
Jung. I don't know. I'll say his name a bunch of times. So there was like a rational versus irrational, and then extrovert versus introvert, and then he also broke it down into 4 different areas: sensation, intuition, thinking, and feeling, which also kind of plays into the Myers-Briggs types, which were
Psychology Today. A lot of Myers-Briggs going on in Psychology Today. I'll tell you that, folks.
Extroversion, introversion, sensing, intuition, thinking, feeling, and then judging, perceiving. So a lot of counter types, like how much of a percentage are you towards which type?
Right. So you have to be one or the other, and or an amount in between. But those are the 2 pillars Not pillars.
It's like a
I'm
seesaw.
trying to find the right word. Yeah. You're either one or the other.
Yeah, you're teeter-tottering towards the...
Queen. I guess you could have both.
And this is
Is
one
there
of the...
one you could have both of?
Yeah, of course you can. I mean, you could be right down the middle and then be
Right,
either
but
or.
then do you have both of the, like, what was the one? Extrovert, introvert. I guess that's someone who's equal parts outgoing, but equal parts doesn't want to be outgoing. Like,
So-
that seems like contradictory, that one.
I'll give you something anecdotal, which is mainly my life, is that of the introverts, I was the extrovert. So I always had a group of friends where they didn't know how to interact with a group of people that were at a bar or a club or a new party. And I would feel like I had the onus.
The onus was on you.
Yeah, the onus was on me to go and say hi and like crack that shell. And then the other ones, they'd slowly fit into the party somehow.
Slowly slither. I could see that.
It was difficult because I'm not
You're
naturally...
the party of the not partiers, kind of?
Exactly.
That sounds rude, too. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Which is, it's a tough spot to be in because I'm not usually that way.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take away the other introverts, yeah, as a lone wolf, right. I'm kind of that way. Like, I'm allowed to be whatever I want to be. I'm not carrying people on my back to do it either.
Right. But in the group, you were almost like the most extrovertial.
Yeah, the most like capable of being
someone's
extroverted.
Someone's got to do this. Someone's got to do it. Interesting. Because I would almost say I'm the opposite.
Really?
But not really. Well, like, I figure like I'm in very social circles, like at least through grade school and stuff. And like, not jocks, but like, you know, people who think they're the cool kids. But at the same time, I loved nerdy stuff. It sounds like not nerdy stuff, but like...
You're the nerdiest of the jocks.
Yeah, like, and I love nerdy stuff, like video games and like being indoors and science.
I will give that to you, because I didn't know that you like video games more than I do, actually. You play more video games than I can right now. And I think in the past maybe...
That's a Ken thing. That's possible.
Yeah, but I think you do it as a choice. You have options of doing whatever you want, and then you choose video games, whereas I am driven elsewhere.
Right. You're very work-centric now, aren't you?
Too much. I need to make money so I can retire and then be old and then not have any... I wish semen was one of the elements. It should have been. I think that's why
you'll be out of one of the biles.
More testosterone to pump up my aura. Get that aura pumping.
What are you going to do then? Finally play the video games that I've been talking about?
I guess so. And not have any spunk. I'll be out of spunk.
Spunk. That's definitely a bile that no one talks about. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. When we talk about... So both of us took a test. We both did the Myers-Briggs test, which has 16 different personality types based on the 4 different versions.
Okay.
Yep. I'm going to... What is it? This website was 16personalities.com, I believe.
16 personalities. I think it was .com. You're absolutely correct.
So here's my breakdown.
Usual, folks. As usual.
Yes. Here's my breakdown. Introverted, intuitive, thinking, judging.
Well, hold on, because we're doing a new inclusive thing where we work together with the audience and everything. I want everyone home to take the test with us. So go to 16personalities.com. That's right. .com. You got to 16, the number. Just write the number.
HTTPS.
And then
colon
you go there.
/ www World Wide Web. Not the whole thing. Just use the letter.
You don't. Use that one.
Mm-hmm.
When you get there, look around. You're going to find the quiz. You want to take it. You don't have to sign up for anything. It's like free.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everyone at home who's listening along, go ahead, take it.
Take it. It's yours.
We'll wait right here until they're done.
And they're done. Oh, that was quick. All right, great.
Wow, that was incredible.
Yeah. So my traits, which is a different version of types. So they break it down differently. It's Myers-Briggs, but we'll come back to traits because I think the traits are actually more accurate than types. Come back to that later. So my traits are introverted, intuitive, thinking, judging, assertive, which makes me, in their terms, the architect type, which is like a planner, somebody who's prepared, someone who's I say thinking. That's not the right word, but it's like I guess they're like weighing based on intuition and not based on like sensing or feeling or emotion. They're kind of like calculating, which makes sense. I'm a confident individual. Yes,
I kept
Nick.
hitting back, and I think it deleted my test.
Oh. You want to click on... You can go to the different types. You were
Okay,
the
hold on. I'm doing it right
campaigner
now.
type. I could read off yours.
You can. Oh, it's just one type. Oh, okay, cool. I thought it was differences therein. Okay, cool. I got campaigner type, folks. Campaign. I assume, extrovert.
Yeah.
I
Extrovert.
assume N for nude.
Intuitive.
Oftentimes at the end of these episodes.
Intuitive, feeling, and perceptive. I think that's...
Why is it intuitive? Like,
I don't know why.
okay, they just picked N. Sorry.
Yeah, who cares?
Intuitive. Oh, what was the F one? What's the F word?
Feeling.
I'm feeling, folks, and perceptive. What do I have? A minus in A and a minus in T. Is that bad?
Because you're not assertive, or maybe you are assertive.
Oh no, I'm not assertive. There you go. That's probably what that is.
I forget what the A is.
And minus. No, you just said assertive, right?
Well, I think you can be either or. Like mine is on another tab, but I think I'm the assertive type. So I was the -A, which makes me 63% assertive.
Never mind. Then I'm -A. I thought that was a -A. We're assertive. Look at us. Couple of assertive gentlemen.
Yeah.
Couple of assertive guys.
What's
the T then?
Yeah, that drives me nuts. What's T?
See, I hit back too many times. Literally, I was trying to get to that page that you're probably looking at, but
Yes. So there's a balance there where I understand like my own type, I guess, but my type kind of changes day to day. I mean, it's based on your mood, really. And then how you interact.
Wait, have you ever taken these tests more than one time?
I have not this particular one.
I've taken a personality test like 3 times in a row. I think I was like a teenager. I was taking a sex one to show how sexy I was or something. And don't get me wrong, there's different validity levels to each test you can take online. Some of them are absolute bullshit. Yeah. Some of them are pretty good, but I think depending on your mood, how you want to answer some questions, like there are some where depending on what hour of the day it is or how I perceive the question, I can answer sort of agree to I kind of don't disagree. I disagree.
Heavily
and I could flip flop.
Yeah.
I could do that. I mean, there's some I wouldn't change at all. I'd pick the exact same circle. But some of them where I was like kind of neutral, I was like, more yes, more no. I could change.
So the -T was turbulent. So it's like kind of like wishy-washy, unsure, sensitive, self-conscious.
Agent of chaos. They're saying I'm an agent of chaos. Is that what they're saying?
Sure.
I love it.
So what was your type again? It was E something?
EN.
F? P?
Yeah, F. Yes.
So I looked up the percentages of personality types, and you are about 8% in the population.
Hear that, folks? 8% of me. How you folks like that, huh?
Yeah. Well,
into that?
For every 4 of you, there is 1 of me. So mine is only 2%, which is kind of I never thought about this before. When someone says what your type is, you think you're just like relating to other types. Sometimes there are 4 times as many types as there are you. So
that's weird.
Yeah, I mean the maximum is like 14%. So if you think about like how maybe isolated I felt at certain periods of my life, it's probably I was. Yeah, because the common personality types that are also introverts, they don't know how to like sync up. They don't know how to talk to each other. They don't know how to share all of those things that they're thinking. So there is no like community there. It's difficult. And if there was a community there, it would be overshadowed by the multiples more of you or the other people out there that are taking over the spotlight. They're taking over the parties.
You're dancing around it like you're tap dancing around it with brilliant shoes and flying around the audience. The fly here, just But like, also, being around an extrovert for an introvert probably makes them more introverted. Like none of these personality types are in a vacuum. I mean, they're constantly around the other people, right? And they probably become more introverted around extroverts. Most of them. I'm not saying all of them, but let's just say like that's one. Assertive people probably become more assertive when no one's challenging their assertiveness. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's levels that are in check within the population, but around certain personality types, they take off.
Yeah, there's probably like an interplay there. Like, I think if I was paired with you in a social aspect, you would bring me into the party, and then I would no longer be introverted. You would you'd be that sort of dick.
I don't I don't know this guy. Yeah, I would. Yeah,
I would just.
Yeah. Shade into the background.
Yeah.
Suddenly Dan's wearing the same color as the wallpaper.
Yeah.
You're just standing here like this.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, your shirt looks like the wallpaper, but your skin doesn't. What are you doing? Yeah. I'm a chameleon. If anyone ever said that at a party, that would be pretty metal. I would actually appreciate that.
Reminds me of a book, Perks of Being a Wallflower. That book actually emulates.
I never read it though.
Never? Do you watch the movie?
I know that. I know
Emma Watson and other people.
It's definitely been on my TV. I didn't pay attention to it.
I don't believe in the suicide. Well, I don't believe in the suicide portion of it, but there's like an attempted suicide. That doesn't relate to me. But the wallflower part where you're like confused, don't know what to do, you're alone. I understand that portion. Just be sensitive and feeling, which is not part of my architect nature. Mostly.
See, do you think you're not feeling?
That's the thing. If I come up with a plan on my own, it's very strategic and very, I guess, cold-hearted and straightforward. But if I get down to it,
robot.
Yeah, 100%. So if I'm talking to someone and they're having an issue, like my first reaction is the computer. Yeah. No, I don't think it's empathy.
Not. It's the opposite. Oh,
until I get past the first wall, and then I care. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about making sure that person's okay. So there's an
playing
emotional
a video game though. Like you're like trying to win the game. I don't know.
I'm trying to extract the most happiness and fun out of the game as possible.
That sounds like the least fun thing.
It's like a syringe. So I'm just like, I got this fun, and then I just stick it right in my neck and just BioShock, baby, which you hopefully have gotten through.
I've gotten some injections. Okay, I'm not done. Got some injections.
All right.
I was on vacay for a couple days, so got a new job. Maybe I have to take it chill with BioShock. Okay.
Yeah. You want to go through the positives and negatives of what you found out your personality actually is? So, like mine is.
I have to go through the
strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah. No, I lost that page when I hit back, and I can't get it anymore.
I'll hit the bullets. Oh, you don't have that? Okay, you can keep going.
Oh yeah, I do actually. All right, go. No, we're good. Okay. Strengths and weaknesses.
Quick, imaginative, strategic, self-confidence, independent, decisive, hardworking, determined, open-minded, and a jack of all trades, which is accurate for strengths, actually. That is pretty on point, but it's a little vague.
It's a lot vague,
yes.
I will say.
Yes.
I'm curious, observant. I'm not. Energetic and enthusiastic. I am. Excellent communicator. Yeah. Know how to relax. Yeah. And very popular and friendly. I actually imagine I'm the most popular person at most of the jobs I go to.
Most popular.
Like the most. I'm like up there.
Yeah. Egotistical.
Self-proclaimed, of course, obviously. But you can tell when you're like, do you think like the worst person in a job goes in and they're like, I'm the most popular guy there, and they shake their shoulders like, 'cause that's the move a least popular person does. Well, baby, I'm the most popular guy at A&E, and they go in and suddenly like everyone's like, man, we hate this guy.
Yeah. I wonder which personality type that guy is.
Yeah. I wonder. Can you look through the personality types? I want to figure out is this Briggs Meyer?
Yeah, I can look at the
Can you give me the rundown of
the 16 different categories that they have on there.
Okay, let's go.
Here's the architect,
it's a brainy one who's like kind of like the planner and the dreamer. Is that what you're getting at? Is that
yeah.
What you okay. Is that what you got?
The logic person, the commander, the debater.
Commander's a jerk off.
The commander probably is.
The boss people around.
Yeah. Advocate, the mediator. These are the diplomats. Protagonist, campaigner, which is you, diplomat.
Yeah, that's me.
Sentinels, the logistician, the defender, the executive, and the consul.
Consul? What the frig is that?
It's someone who's caring, social, popular, and always eager to help.
Not the jerk off I'm thinking of.
Nope. Explorers, the virtuoso, the adventurer, the entrepreneur, and the entertainer. So this is the interesting part.
None of them sound like jerk off.
No, well, they're going to spin it in the positive method, but I could see battling with a defender or a commander
Yeah, a commander. What's the other one? The boss, executive. Ugh.
Or somebody like, so the entertainer is something that is,
Yeah, that's funny. I didn't get that role. That's interesting.
well, they are completely opposite of what I am. Every category is the opposite, which makes sense. I'm entertained by them and I enjoy them, but when I try to talk to them, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. It doesn't make, because nothing of my ideology matches up with what their ideology matches up with.
It makes sense to me.
And that also is...
Oh, you got strengths and weaknesses for your own class here?
Yeah, I was going to say that the entertainer actually outnumbers me 4-1 too as well. So
4-1.
It's strange.
So what number is that? What percentage population?
8%.
Close to my number, huh? Entertainer going up against the campaigner. What does he want? Does he want to play chess? Does he want to play checkers? Does he want to get fudged up?
So
I said fudge. Or are the kids watching today?
Yeah. Try to keep it wholesome.
I'm trying to keep it wholesome. Just a campaigner, folks.
So you want to hear my weaknesses?
I know them, but yeah.
Okay. I'm arrogant, judgmental, analytical, overly so. I loathe structured environments, and I'm clueless in romance. Romance, maybe not. I'm romantical. Structured environments, though,
Can we have a special guest on? It's your wife.
I don't think she'd ever make it.
No, I don't think she wants to be on this.
No, I don't think your girlfriend wants to be on this either.
No.
Nick, are you done yet?
Are we done yet?
Yeah.
Campaign weaknesses. I have poor practical skills. Wrong. I find it difficult to focus. Incorrect. I overthink things. False. I get stressed easily. Actually, probably a little false. Highly emotional. That's bullshit. And independent to a fault. I wasn't listening. I was doing my own thing.
Yeah. I agree with 1, 2, and the last one.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
The structured environments thing, it bothers me a lot to be in a structured environment. Today
because it's a waste of time. You see it as a waste of time.
Exactly. I went for jury duty today.
Oh, no, you didn't. How did that not come up earlier in the episode?
I know. I've been waiting on it for so long. I feel
like that's the whole reason we have a podcast. So you can say, I had jury duty the other day. It's like a Jerry Seinfeld intro.
Yeah.
What's the deal with jury duty?
Oh, boy. So essentially we waited all day to find out that we didn't have to do anything. Yeah. Because they plead out. They pled out 6 hours later.
He should have listened to the episode where we talk about plea deals versus
don't get a jury. Yeah.
Judge.
Jury's like 80-something% guilty versus a judge, which is like 60% guilty. So you go to jury, you're fudged.
Thank you.
Hardcore. Right in the poo-tangage.
Fudge.
Yeah. So that was highly structured. I think. I'm just sitting there biting my tongue, waiting. And the weird thing about jury duty is that you never know who you're really going to be judging. They don't tell you unless you're actually there. So there's 60 people waiting on this one person to take a plea deal, and those 60 people don't know what they wasted their entire day for. They don't know what he's being judged for.
Would they? I mean, that's kind of weird. I mean, I don't know. Can you?
I guess I want there to be a reason that I can link to for why I spent all day and the potential.
Are you looking at it like a car accident? Like you sit in traffic for like 40 minutes because there's an accident up ahead, and everyone slows down at the accident because they got to stare at it. It's in the other lanes, and you're like this. Why the frig is everyone going to slow down? Look at this. We could be home by now. Oh my God, that's a leg. I can see his leg. Slow down. I got to take a picture. You're running your car and taking a picture at the same time. And you're like, oh my God, this is great. And then you get past it and you're like, I friggin' hate traffic. Is that essentially it?
As you're posting on social media. I'm going to get so many likes on this one.
Get some hits on this bad boy. I actually saw a really bad car accident in Delaware. Do you know Delaware is the worst state?
For car accidents?
No. Just it's the worst state. It's just in general. It has nothing to do with the car accident. You go to Delaware, and it's like I went on vacation down there. One of the beaches, like in the Rehoboth area. Check it out, folks. You want a Rehoboth? Rehoboth.
Rehoboth Beach.
No, it's like 10 minutes away, 20 minutes. Actually, about 20 minutes away because Delaware's all highways.
Huh.
So you go into Delaware and it's flat. It's just the flattest, stupidest state. There's no sales tax. You can't even. I'm trying to put this into words, but like any spike in your life is like interesting. Like it's like, whoa, I can't believe that happened to him. Whoa, he had to pay sales tax. Whoa, there's a mountain here. In Delaware, there's no whoa. You don't pay sales tax. It's like you buy a computer for like $7.99 back in the day. That's it.
Nothing extra.
Register. There's nothing extra. You don't go to the register and you're like, oh my God, I forgot. We're going to have to pay extra for sales tax. And everyone's going crazy and you're crossing your fingers. It's not too much because you're not doing the math that quick. You're like, please, 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 please.
You're counting your 20s.
Not in Delaware. Not in Delaware. In Delaware, they're like $7.99. And you're like, oh no, plus tax. What is it? And you're like, that's it. And you're like, really? And then you drive home and you can look everywhere. You can see the whole state at once. It's like very flat. Like the biggest thing is the buildings, and the buildings all suck. So it's like weird.
Yeah. Isn't there like a big trash pile or something you drive through?
Newark.
Oh, okay.
But the reason I got into this whole story was because we were driving and it's just highways. Like Delaware's highways and then superstores. Like it's like a Taco Bell at every whatever, McDonald's, a Target. Like you drive down highways, right? You go to superstores. So you want to go to Target,
box, big square.
Yeah, big box. Yeah. I saw the most awesome wreck. Some dude somehow in the 3-lane highway of Route 1. He must have been trying to make a right somewhere. I'm not sure where. He must have hit a sign that runs into this like super mall. And he hit the sign, spun around. I call it a super mall because it's got like 50 stores in it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So he hits the sign, and one of the buildings towards the front is like it wasn't a Bank of America. It was like some kind of bank or something. You know, banks are always towards the front for some reason. I don't know why. He spun, landed into it in reverse, and just smashed his car and smashed the building and smashed the sign and smashed like traffic everywhere. It was so awesome. We were slowing down, looking. I was like, oh damn! It made my night. This was the highlight of my vacation. Are you trying to look at yourself in the?
I am. Why am I half the screen? Shouldn't I be the whole screen?
I'm not watching a Twitch. I'm talking to you in Discord.
Yeah, but you can make me the whole screen in Discord. Why am I?
I like to see myself.
You jerk.
Does it say that in Campaigner? I mean, really, it should say that I like to see myself. You're lucky you're not smaller than me. Honestly, when I look at this, I want to be like, well, how do I look right now? How am I sunglasses? I got to pay attention to my look. People watching this video might really be interested in the way I look tonight.
Got to make sure you're perfect.
I have a broken nose. Okay, folks? See this right here? That's a deviated septum. I broke it at an Opeth concert. We're not going to get into it tonight. My sunglasses, when they sometimes sit like this. I look like an a-hole. That's a campaigner thing, okay? So I have to constantly overcorrect my nose sunglasses issue. So I have this big so I can make sure my sunglasses look fine. Self-conscious now. Taking them off.
All right, thank you.
Had acne all week. Look, I got acne. I'm like 30-some years old. I got acne.
How does that happen? There? Is it stress?
No, it's because I'm Italian. Okay, I have oilier skin than most individuals, but the good news is I won't get as wrinkly and old-looking as you. Maybe. I mean, I'm
because of the oiliness.
Generalities.
Yes, Italians are oilier. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So, like Ariana Grande is going to look
say it.
younger.
Whoa. Be careful what you say. You're not Italian. You can't say this.
So you can say that Ariana Grande is going to stay younger.
Ariana Grande is going to stay beautiful and young. Skin's going to look gorgeous forever.
Because she's Italian and not Hispanic.
Is she Italian?
She is Italian.
Holy smokes.
Holy shit.
I just read a thing where that guy who died blamed her, or people are blaming her.
Was that the preacher that touched her boob?
No, that wasn't. Was it Mac Miller?
Oh, yeah, he didn't have a good life. He had a bad life.
He did. Well, here, we could do a whole episode on what his life was, good or bad. Did he make more money and touch more people and work with more people than maybe we ever will.
If he dated Ariana Grande, he had a pretty good life. I'm not gonna.
I've seen your YouTube history. I know what you're out here anything. Okay. Now, let's get back on track because a lot of the people at home were like, I only tuned in to listen to them talk about
personality,
work.
personality traits.
Let's go there.
So they kind of said that personality types are kind of bullshit, actually, because you're like a certain percentage.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like 60% something and like 40% the other. So it's like on any given day, it could be either or. But the traits actually kind of line them up. So they're openness to experience, which makes sense, whether you're curious or cautious.
This is Briggs Myers or someone else?
I don't know who actually said these.
Okay, that's fine. It's just not Briggs Myers. It's someone else.
It's somebody else.
Okay. So they're saying personality is broken down to openness to experience. That's one big piece, right?
Yep. And then conscientiousness.
Oh, how much you feel the world is about you versus the world is about someone else.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Efficient, 100%. Organized versus easygoing or careless. Conscientious.
Do they have to be at odds?
I think it has to do with like the perception of other people's perception of you. So if you feel like you need to be in a certain state to prove yourself to others, then you're conscientious.
Not Delaware.
Yeah, don't go there. So if you don't care what other people think of you, you're careless or easygoing or disorganized.
That makes sense, actually.
Mm-hmm. And then extroversion, which everyone kind of agrees. Introvert, extrovert. What do you?
Right. There's no getting around that one. That one's kind of
agreeableness, like how good you are to other people, or whether you're going to be a bulwark. You're going to be difficult.
So this goes back to 2 picks ago. Like it's a little bit like how much you think you're importance,
egotistical
versus another person. Yeah, a little bit.
And then there's neuroticism, which is exactly egotistical, which is you being so nervous that you can't control yourself, or you're secure and confident that you will power through any situation.
What did not to throw back or put pressure on it, but Carl Jung.
I don't know which
one. Can I say
both?
Can you say J and Y at the same time? Carl Jung. Carl Jung. Carl Jung. There, I said. I think I said it better. Well, there's going to be a correction next episode. We're going to fish this out. We're going to make it perfect. Yeah. I swear. But he was more. Was he introvert, extrovert? Only?
Himself personally?
No. His thing.
He had a whole personality. Oh boy.
I'm sorry to hash back. I was trying to compare it to what we just talked about.
He does have extrovert and introvert in his.
Okay, that was like his
definitions.
Big thing. Okay, that was one of his big ones.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird that seems to be a one that runs through all of these, right?
Yeah, whether people are going to be outgoing in certain situations is really what you're trying to figure out.
Not even certain situations, just what situations people tend to be outgoing in. Like,
son of a bitch. That's exactly what I said.
But you're saying like in certain situations, but I mean, there's a situation every 5 minutes. Like, will I fart on a podcast? Yeah, I would fart on a podcast. I don't know that I probably have. Is that an extrovert thing? Right?
I don't know.
It has to be. I mean, I'm alone in this room, I guess. But am I alone in this room?
If you're in a crowd of people, do you still fart? A room full of people?
Not usually. I mean, I'll hold it in unless, like, what's the situation? What kind of people?
So, like, how many waves? Because, like, a fart will go back up and then come back out, and you'll be like, no, like, how many times do you hold it in? Because I usually get to the 4th or 5th time, and I'm just like,
I don't get waves like that. I know what you're saying. Like, it'll come back later, but if mine disappears, and I'm like, whew, went away. Like, it might be like 20 minutes, and then like 20 minutes, you're like, I'm not in the same place. You imagine if I'm still in the same elevator 20 minutes later. Oh, no. Ding. Someone hit every button and we're all stuck on here. We can't take the stairs.
Try to shoot out the door.
Folks.
Closed door.
Damn. I gotta fart. I'm actually thinking of, do you know what I did right before the podcast started? There's a new video game out. I know you don't stay on top of this stuff, called Scum.
Oh, I heard about this. They had a tattoo on the guy's neck. You can poop.
Poop and pee and throw up. So the new thing
is it like a world? You're like in a world with other people doing the same thing?
Yeah, and you can
They're all going to poop and pee. You can eat people?
And yes. So hold on. I only got to see like 20 minutes of footage because I was trying to jump around. I wanted to find someone farting on people or pooping on people. But anyway, it's a open world survival game. They make millions of them. It's like the game. What's the one we played? Not Dead by Daylight. The one before that.
Forest?
Trees. Forest. Thank you. It's like that, but you're prisoners and whatever, and you got tattoos, and it's like a little bit like meets Pickup, PUBG. What the hell is it called? Player Unknown Battleground.
Okay.
Because there's all these people, and you have to, get armor, ammo, whatever. Just the cool thing is you can poop on people and pee and throw up. Like these are bodily functions you can release. Your bladder's full.
Is there an advantage to doing it?
But apparently that's all that
you
players are
run
doing.
1% faster.
Yeah. Well, it relieves a pressure valve, I guess. Like if you don't pee at all, like you're in trouble, I think. You're in trouble.
God.
Hey.
But
I did it by accident.
Dad joke.
Dad joke. Anyway, we got off topic a little bit, but
yeah.
I can't wait. I thought that would be such a great episode if we could poop and pee on things.
You're the extrovert. You can go right ahead. I will keep that to my private self. It brings us to the word of the podcast.
Ooh, what's the word of the podcast?
Surgency. It's a trait aspect of emotional reactivity in which a person tends towards high levels of positive affect, which means their affect, their persona, their whole.
How much do they affect other people? Not effect. They affect people.
With a big A. It's how much. Yeah, it's their face, their posture, the way they present themselves to others.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm not disrespectful to the podcast by burping. Good.
So surgency, a little bit you are. Surgency is the way that people like interact with other people. So if you're highly surgent, then you're coming off as like someone who's very confident and very self-assured, and then you're also saying like you're like happy and all those positive things. All those positive things you're showing to the other person. So people with high surgency usually are extroverts, and they get along well with other people.
Okay, that makes sense. You're trying to show people you're happy. You're trying to make people happy. You're trying to give off an air of happiness or whatever it might be.
Yeah. Unlike most of the women I've dated in my past, they've not had very high surgency towards me. They've had a negative affect. That's all.
It could be the subject matter they're dating, but we're not going to get into that.
Yeah. So, long pause.
Long pause. For those listening, Dan was flexing his chest area. It looked like he gained a tiny bit of weight, but I didn't mention it.
A muscular nerd now? Isn't that the hottest type of guy?
Jesus. Chris Pratt?
I don't know that he was ever a nerd.
On Pander, Dan? Yeah, he was on Andy and
he's kind of a goober.
Oh, okay. Goober is different than
geek,
a nerd. We could do a whole episode on that. Yeah, I guess.
So what do you were going to lead into something, and I know what it is, but I'm going to lead you into what you're going to lead into. Your
worker types.
Yes, there you go. Workers.
There you go. So workers. I feel like we all see these quizzes on Facebook. We see them all over the world. You can Huffington Post, Buzz. I found the first one on BuzzFeed. It was like 10 types of the worker that every office has, and it's like, oh, here we go again. Like that expression, that feeling.
Yeah.
Is that an emotion? That's an emotion.
Yeah, I think so. For most people.
But, I mean, I'll read the Buzz. Did you come across that number? Or did you use my number?
Use your number.
God damn it, he's good, folks. I told this guy a number before we started airing that 38% of people work for corporations. So that means 38% of people work in like an office setting with more than 20 people. It's like, I work in an office, so I have a cubicle. There's a mailman. There's a guy who does this. There's a guy who does this. Like that's big business.
Defined roles. Yep.
Yes, defined roles for everyone. Anyway, once we go into one of these businesses, which is apparently almost just under half. I mean, almost 40%, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People listening to podcasts, many of them are probably involved in these giant hive corporations, right?
Yeah, they're part of the conglomerate where they have no, like Rocco's Modern Life. Man, it's just like so depressing. It's a
Conglamo? We own
conglomerates,
you?
yeah.
We own you was their motto.
That's a good motto.
Conglamo, we own you. They used to make everything from A to B, and Rocco would just do whatever they told him to do, and it was always stupid or didn't make sense, but he did it anyway.
It's those highly structured environments that I hate. Oh boy.
And the boss was always spitting and yelling, I feeling like, Rocco!
He was a toad or something, right? He had the giant lips.
Yes. And the cigar.
Yes.
Yes. Not to be confused with the big heads who lived next door to him, which were frogs and were always freaking getting busy. Ed and Bev Big Head might have been the horniest cartoon couple of all time. I'm just saying this because I tried to research this online, but I feel like Bev was always like, Ed, and blinking her eyes at him. And he was like, Bevy, and like raising his voice. I feel like they were always inferring that those two banged. Like those two were nonstop banging. And they were ugly. They were out of shape. They weren't beautiful in any fashion of the word. But I think that's what made their love more beautiful and pure than most other shows.
It's the overtones and undertones at the same time.
Yeah. It's weird because, like, I would never look at them as, like, inspirational or attractive or the subject matter I want to discuss on a podcast. But when you think about it, Ed and Bev Big Head, they banged for us.
The children who watched that cartoon as kids.
Bang for the children.
Bang for the children. Hashtag.
Bang for kids.
Oh, yep.
Sorry, moving on.
Oh, man.
At every corporation that has employees, which is a lot of us, we all work in corporations. And tell me, guys, I get it. You work with over 20 people. We all have these. These are the type. So we all work in a corporation. I got the 10 types we all work with. Oh, number one, the swamped thing. Always so busy. Like,
yeah.
Busy to talk.
Oh,
busy.
man.
It's like I got paperwork. I can't talk right now. I got stuff to do. I can't talk right now. I'm real busy. Can you do this? I'm busy. That's swamp thing right there.
I got everything on my list.
Thing.
Look at my to-do list. My board has just got stuff all over it. So many meetings.
Number two is my favorite. Cool boss. We're cools in quotes.
Hey,
man. I don't have to wear a tie. I do this. Hey, I'm like you. You know what I'm saying? I just make $20,000 a year more. I don't know why we go to meetings, man. It's stupid. But anyway, if you would fill out the form and say I didn't sexually harass you, that's great. That's cool, boss. Cool boss says things like, hey, you into 50 Cent? I saw him last Wednesday at the mall. He wasn't rapping. I just saw him at the mall. But that's pretty cool. That's cool, boss. You know what I mean?
Should Michael Scott right level. There.
But not, yeah, there's a little bit of Michael. Michael Scott is cool, boss. Number three, oversharer. You all got him. Number four, I got to give BuzzFeed some credit. Usually all their articles are garbage, and this one's garbage too, but Charlie Brown knows her. I see what they did there. The Office comedian. Ooh. Guy who tells it like it is. He always raises his hand in a meeting and says, I got to say it like it is. Man, that's good. This is my favorite one. Number 6, weird IT guy. Like, in all these lists, there's the IT guy's a weirdo.
Why is there can be weirdos anywhere, man.
I agree.
I think the whole IT department.
Next, we got the Danny Glover, which in the quote says doesn't have to be black, doesn't have to be Danny Glover, doesn't have to be an old man, but usually is older and usually says, back in my day, we didn't have these danged emails. I'm getting too old for this login stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can see that. Number 9, we have the gym rat, the guy who's always way too in shape and is going to the gym after and before work every day.
That's not really an
10th
office-based one. That's just universal.
Oh, yeah, it is. No. It's office-based because he comes to work and he's always getting changed back into his office stuff. And you're like, no one else is getting changed here except
He's still
you. And
sweating. The shower didn't take.
You're like, you're in damn shape, dude. Stop taking off your clothes at work. And last but not least is the social director. Socials in caps because they're so over the top getting that softball team together, trying to get a Saturday night plan together. You know what I mean?
Office Olympics, yep.
Yeah. You know, which is, this list is good. Like,
yeah,
we can kind of get there. Like, I get it. So I Googled office types, LOL, best of, and like office type 25, office type 20, office type best of, office type. I started Googling different things because I like to
you poke around.
Mess around. So then employmenthub.co, which is a UK symbol, .co, they came up with a 15 type that's at every job. And I'll just run through them. The quiet one, the moody one, the dream crusher, the talker, the honest joker, the office scapegoat, none of my business one, the cooler, the big surprise. I used to love him. Now I hate him. The slacker, the eater, the hard worker, the motivator, the responsible one, and boss's pet. And I was like, okay, that's probably a good list too. I mean, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty good list.
It is. So then I came up with a 23-point list. And I was like, Jesus Christ, there's a list for everything. This one was on the odysseyonline.com. Number 1, the self-elected dictator of social enrichment, the narc, the partier, the most hated, the overly entitled one, the secret mass murderer, the whiner, the ghost, the grandparent, the oversharer. I think you're right there. The drill sergeant, the mass dater, the pledge, the bragger, the optimist, the gossip, the next Bill Gates, the wild card, the gym rat, the comedian, the hot mess, the eye candy, the perfect employee. And it occurred to me looking at all these stupid lists that they're all the same damn lists, right?
Pretty much. You're going more than 16 types. So at some point, the types are kind of overlapping, right?
They are. I would argue that they can overlap at less than 16 and at more than 16.
Somewhere in the same range, though. You can't just keep going. Eventually, you're going to name the same people.
You can, but I mean, the mass murderer is similar to the wild card, right? If you're a mass murderer, you quite certainly are a wild card. No one saw that coming. You kill people.
I guess so. You're borrowing some traits.
I mean, but that could be the bragger. Actually, I doubt it.
Someone who's killed somebody.
It could be the most hated, though. Hold on. It could be the most hated, right?
Yeah, I don't know. These
it could be the most hated in the office.
When you say some of these, it reminds me of specific people that I can't bring up on the podcast.
Oh, okay. That's fine. So you know all these types, and it's true. Is that what you're saying?
I'd say probably 70% of them I could link to people. Of course, it depends on your office setting, right?
It does.
Your office setting, your office knowledge, if you had been bounced around to different corporations, you probably would encounter most of these people. Whereas my past 10 years or so have been spent in the same type of office setting. And I've been in maybe 3 or 4 different offices with people that were, I guess, visible, what you'd say, how close I was to them. Close proximity. I probably had close proximity to maybe 30 people in the past 10 years. And I barely remember the ones in the beginning, so probably more like 20.
So I want to make a weird argument. Anytime you work in a place that has over 30 people, over 50 people, there's no time, there's no interaction that allows you to get to know them all. So I mean, that's just logic, right?
I think Malcolm Gladwell breaks it down to that you can't know more than 150 people. So they
in your life. So your best friends
at a certain time. Yeah, at a certain time. So they design
your kid. Do you have to know your kid?
daycare. But
God damn.
no. But he says they design like military units and like business units to have no more than 150 people. So if you're interacting with more than 150 people, you're going to forget anybody that's 151, 152.
I would argue
people.
if there were 50 people at your job, you don't know all of them.
Well, you probably like facial recognition.
What do you mean now? Yeah, sure, facially recognized, but you don't know anything about the personal life, do you? Do you know anything about the male guy at your job?
How many people actually share their personal life? That's the crazy thing, is that you go around in a corporate environment and no one ever talks about what they really feel. Like there's the oversharer, which will tell you that, but then the other personality types will always be other type personality types. They won't be.
No, I'm a campaigner type, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I would argue I can figure out a lot about people just from, I don't know, my 5-minute interactions with them. I'm not asking them, what's your personal life? I would never say that to someone. That's the weirdest thing in the world.
Yeah, that's weird.
But I get to talking about the Eagles or something like that, and I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? What'd you do over the weekend? Like just something like that. And they'll be like, I got a dog. He's gonna die. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I didn't know A, you had a dog, and B, that it's dying. I'm really sorry. Like I just found out my coworker, like, who I don't know, and don't know if he likes dogs or not. His dog's dying, and I was like, I'm sorry. He's like, we're gonna put it down this week, and I was like, that's great. Like I didn't say that's great. What do you say? That's bad, but good.
Oh,
good on.
Sorry.
But what I'm getting at is you don't get to know everyone in your office, even if it's 50 people. So would it be easier to remember them as a trope or like a build-up stereotype? That's the nerd. That's the office slut. Like that's the goofy guy who always says the funny thing. Like it's easier to do that, isn't it?
So
because your brain doesn't have time.
I'll bring in something anecdotal here. So I work in an area that probably has 1,000 people working, but in the vicinity of people that I deal with on a daily basis is probably around 60 or 70 people. So, okay. I mean, I don't interact with them 100%, and I don't know very much of what's going on with them. But even when I leave and I'm walking around, I see people that do not interact on a visual scale. So they're not even like receptive to people being like looking at them and saying, hi, how are you? Like it's very weird that like people would be that close, like walking by one another.
Proximity wise.
Yeah. They're not even there. Like mentally they're checked out. So you can't even, if I wanted to, I could break. I'd be like, hey, like lean into their like view, which is down on the ground, and be like, hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Yeah.
We all float down here. Excuse me?
But you just can't break into people's like stream of consciousness. It doesn't bode well. I mean, you can, but most people in my vicinity that are probably more introverted probably won't appreciate it.
Maybe that's what I do better than anything in the world.
Do you break into people's stream of consciousness and then...
Maybe. I know that sounds really weird and like something, but my favorite thing is like when I'm at a new place, like, because I don't know anyone at the new job I just started. Like, I can't tell if someone's a boss, someone who's like way above me, someone who's below me, someone who's on my level, someone who's new, someone who's just visiting and wearing a suit. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way for me to know. And I'd be like, yo, did you guys catch that earlier? And I'd be like, what? I'd be like, I thought I saw a cat. They don't like cats in here, do they? And so I'd be like, there's no cats in here. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It couldn't have been a cat. I'll catch you later, man. And then I'll walk away. Like, that's it. That's my whole interaction with that person. And I'm like, I didn't really fake see a cat. I just wanted to start a conversation to see if he was like cool or not. Like, can you imagine if he was like, they don't allow cats here? I would know all I know about that guy. Like, I'm good. But if he was like, holy shit, you saw a cat? You saw a goddamn cat? I'm like, no, I didn't. I just wanted to see if you're cool. You're cool. All right, see you. There's a way you throw random stuff at people and you can tell if they're interesting or not. That's what life, for me, in an office setting boils down to. Whether you're interesting or not.
And I wish this is why we work. This is why we work together. Well, I think, because honestly, like I enjoy when people break into that stream of consciousness and then say something ridiculous, and then I'll respond to it with something equally ridiculous or more.
Sure, you have to. I mean, life's too short to just keep doing the same thing over and over, right?
But so many people do.
To look down at the floor and keep going. Like, it's stupid. It doesn't seem like you're missing out on opportunity, maybe? And I'm not saying you have to be best friends with everyone else, but at least, like, throw a weird question at them.
So
if anyone...
I've been doing this weird thing. So like I'm in a weird phase where I'm like stretching out and spidering out. And I've gone on LinkedIn now, and I started friending. And like before, like LinkedIn would be like, "Do you want to add these 200 people that you don't really know but are on your email list?" And I'm like, "No,
of course not.
That's weird.
That's weird." Now,
yesterday I did it. I was like, 200 people.
Wait, you added like 200 people?
Click, and I was like, "Let's see what happens."
You can add 200 people with one click?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot. Well, anyway, my value with my LinkedIn connection with you just went down to this, right?
Because
everyone's like, "Wow, he's not Pander Dan isn't LinkedIn with a lot of people. This guy must be really know a guy."
Mm-hmm.
Now they look, they're like, "This guy connects with friggin' everyone."
Too many people. The weird thing is that I can now look at people that are like responding and friending me, and then I click on them, and then I'm like, I look through their list of people,
see their stuff.
Yeah, and then I could be like, I knew that person like 10 years ago. I knew that person, and then I friend them.
Is that what you're talking about?
This is still like post college, like when I first started my career, because I worked at the same company for that long. That like I was like, this person quit like when I first started. I remember them, and then I friended them, and I started talking to them, and I'm like, this is like bizarre. It's like
you've been talking to them too. Wait, who sent in the first message?
Me, because I'm initiating. I'm the initiator in this whole thing because they're looking down at the ground.
Are you sure you're an architect? Something's different.
Something's changed.
I don't think an architect does this.
Well, maybe I'm architecting something else. But it feels good to do that because then you find out thoughts that other people have of you, and it lets you have insight to yourself. Because you can ask them like, "Hey, you remember me?" or "Do you remember that time?" or like, "What do you think of this situation?" And like these people they're not in my life whatsoever and will never be back in my life.
Right. They don't have to be. There's no onus on it.
No onus.
I used onus twice.
I love onus.
I'm going to unbutton a button every time I say onus or someone says onus.
So I wanted to bring it back and make it more relative to most people. Okay. So most people have a manager. And the different types of managers kind of reflect upon the different personality types.
Go for it.
So we got...
Let's see if you describe my manager, my new manager, who I love.
Allbusiness.com has like 7 of them. I'll say 7. Let's start off number 1. The problem-solving one is the one that's just like trying to like break down things and like get rid of them and knock them down one by one. And then the pitchfork manager is one that's like heavy-handed. He's the one who tries to like... Pretty much.
Or she, folks.
She or she. I have had female managers, and I'm not saying they're either or of this type. And then number 3, the pontificating one, the one who talks way too much and doesn't solve anything. I've had that. The presumptuous one is ones that are self-centered, focused on themselves. I haven't had too many of these. I don't think they survive very long.
That's not a managerial thing. That is weird because managers aren't that selfish when you think about it. I mean, they can be, but in a different way. Not in a... that's weird. I never thought of that. Managers don't like to just focus on themselves the whole time. They literally put the onus on you.
Yeah, that's the whole point of being a manager, right? Is that you're looking at what other people are doing and making sure they do a better job at shaving their chest.
Don't. I shave my neck, pal, okay? Once we get to here, whatever.
I can't. Okay, no. The perfect manager, I don't know why this doesn't make sense. Why would they put that in this list?
Stupid.
Skip.
Dumb. Because it's who made the list again?
Yeah, allbusiness.com.
They're dumb. Allbusiness.com's dumb.
The passive manager, understand this. Manager doesn't want to do anything. They probably don't know really what they're doing, so they're just hands off. Laissez-faire.
I think that's my new manager. I like him.
I like that type of manager. And then the proactive one who always wants to like knock down the next peg.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That leads into like management styles though. So there's essentially like authoritative, the persuasive one, the one that's trying to get you to do something by saying whatever.
Friendship.
Yeah, that's kind of like the buddy.
I'm your bro.
And then
I'm your bro. I know I'm a manager, but I'm your bro.
So there's like the equal footing idea there.
I'm not your bro.
Level footing is persuasive, and then the paternalistic, ones that are above you but still trying to be familial.
I'm practically your father, and I love you, but I'm practically your father.
Yeah, and these are all the autocratic ones, and this one is also like exploitative or authoritative. So like they're dictators.
Good.
And then the democratic
Oh,
ones.
just autocrat. Okay.
Yeah, authoritative. Democratic ones. There's the ones that are like consultants. The ones that like they like you, like they come to you for advice. They're like, what do you think about this? And then you just tell them. Yeah.
You know what? I think those are the sneakiest ones because like
they could dole out information differently.
Right. They can be like, I don't know what to do about this situation. What would you do? And they give you a situation. And then like 2 days later, they're releasing a company mandate that totally used your input, but like in a weird way. And you're like, whoa, I kind of said something to that manager. Yeah. And they like didn't talk with you because you're just an employee. And they managed based on your opinion and fired someone. They were like, yeah, we fired that guy. And you're like, I didn't say to fire him. I just said I wouldn't trust him. Okay.
There's
like snake in the grassy a little bit almost.
There's one manager who said to me, he was talking about a specific employee, and he said, do you think he's worth X amount of dollars?
Oh, that's sneaky, dude. You don't want to mess with someone else's money.
Yeah, I couldn't answer that question. I mean,
what'd you say? Did you get him fired?
No, he still works there.
Are you feeling guilty?
He still works. You're not going to say like, oh, I think he's worth X amount of dollars like that. That's a bullshit.
He's only worth $31,000.
That's a question to test you and not to judge the other person. So you never answer that one.
Oh, should be.
Yeah.
Just careful.
But yeah, he's trying to be a little bit consultative, and then collaborative and participative. That's a hard word to say. So like a participant, like someone who's like actively involved in what you're doing, he's trying to be like a comrade and collaborate with you.
Oh, he's trying. I'm in here with you guys. I'm in the foxhole. I'm in your foxhole, and I'm like, what's my foxhole, man?
It's deep and furry. And then you have
unshaved.
Yeah, well, it gets furrier the way. Gross. And then you have laissez-faire, which is the delegative one. Is one that just says, do your job.
Delegative, I think it is.
Sure. Delegative.
I wanted you to say delegative.
I know you did, but it would be wrong.
The podcast called that one.
So those are all types of managed. Like I read people really well, so I can tell which type of manager they are when I start talking to them. And certain ones you need to avoid. I'm going to be honest. The ones that are consultative, you probably need to get away from because they can be shady. Any ones that are like pontificating ones, the ones that talk too much, probably want to avoid them too, because usually you can figure out that they're not talking about the people they work with or their coworkers or the people that are under them. If they're pontificating too much, they're talking about other things and just trying to spin things essentially. So I would avoid those two types of managers. Anything that's funny is micromanager too, I'd avoid them.
Huh, okay. Well, most people don't get a choice with all this stuff that you're talking about.
I agree. Most people don't get to move around or shift or get away from people that are holding them under their boot.
But it's way longer scale. Like, it's not like, I didn't like these guys this week. I'm going to try next week with a new job.
It definitely is a year. Like, if you want to shift away from a manager, it takes months to years to really get away from them.
Which is crazy. That affects your life big time.
Yeah. Sometimes it sucks. A lot.
Wait, so have you ever been a manager?
I have. Yeah. I've had a team of, I think, 4 people. And
So what were you like?
I was the type that laid out the goals and said, this is your objective. Complete it if you can. And then if you can't, you come back and you tell me why you couldn't.
Did anyone on your team like reach out to you at all? Or everybody completed their goals and never talked to
you? I'd be like a little bit consultative. So like people would ask me like 1 or 2 questions and then I hope that they finished it. And then the status was always so I have a customer and a manager above me. So the meetings would always be the people who were below me plus 2 levels above me. So it held them to their actions and they would tell me what they did or didn't do. So, I mean, there's not much I can do in a situation where I work in a unique field where things break and it's not anyone's fault. So they had excuses for why things didn't work all the time, and we were slowly building up to doing something that never got funding.
What's weird is you described all the managers and manager types there are, but I don't think you included yourself at all.
You wouldn't say that I was laissez-faire and consultative and...
Sure. No. I guess you were... Oh, are you saying you were a bunch of them at once?
Yeah, I mean, you have to play it off. If you're an intelligent person and not stuck in one mindset, then you're being flexible depending on who you're talking to.
So here's the thing that plays into every Unpanders episode we ever do.
Yep.
It plays in every trope we ever talk about. It plays in everything we ever talk about. I'm not even trying... We could do a whole episode on this. It's human beings think they're X, and they trying to purvey that they're Y, and other people perceive that they're Z, right? All this stuff going on at once.
Yeah.
And what we just talked about is a lot of X and Y, but what are we actually? I mean, we started the episode with that, but I don't know that we can figure out the answer, because do you think your employees were like, he was an all right manager, but like, I never really saw him. He was like, away. He would like up here once a month and be like, are you done? like, do you know what I mean? Like, what's the worst way people perceive you as a manager? Think of that.
So I wouldn't even put it as manager. The most obvious way of understanding perception of people is when you're dating people. So, like dating somebody and then breaking...
Like managing someone?
No, I'm not talking about in the workplace.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But like, if you break up with somebody and they don't want to talk to you anymore... I mean, they are a type of person, and they read you a certain way, and they decided that they weren't going to mesh with your personality. They break it off, and then for me, I'm always wondering, like, what did you see that didn't work for you? So I'm trying to judge what their personality is and figure out what they judged my personality was, and then try to tweak it based on...
It's so weird, because I never thought of this, which is another implement of personality, right?
Yeah.
A person like you might think about this. I didn't until you just brought it up.
So I don't know if I should. You've never gotten you've never been broken up with.
Of course I have, but I never was like I didn't break it down and be like, what elements of my relationship ability did you think were not compatible with your relationship ability? And I never got the research paper that documented what percentage you think I was incompatible in lovemaking or possibly romantic gestures. Like, you know what I mean? I never. I don't know.
It's strange, I guess. So this is leading back. Yes, but this is leading back to me being only like 2% of the population versus like most people are, there's 4 times as many of these people out there that don't understand that I'm questioning like what is it what you saw? Does it compare to what I saw versus what should I be versus like people don't even go to that level. They just say like I didn't like this relationship, it's over. And I'm just like, well, why? Other people are just like, it didn't work. And then like that's happened to like a lot of relationships. So like I date like 4 people in a row that are all not my type of person, and it doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, you would think that you would have an equal amount of people that would be reflective and say, well, you were this and I was wondering this, and it's like, oh, finally someone gets it. But it would take like 10 people before you got one that was like, here's the answer that you were looking for. But you have to make sure you understand my perspective as well.
I'm going to say something here that I don't usually do on the Unpanders.
Do it.
I'm going to blast Dan a little bit.
Hit me.
This is so weird. So we all think of our personality type. I'm a campaigner. Campaigners are perfect, in my opinion, actually.
I'm an architect, so I'm building towards something.
Of course, you're perfect, right? You're the smallest percentage because you guys are the best, right? Everyone thinks they're the best.
I'll take it.
Well, ultimately, right. Yes. Everyone thinks this. Everyone thinks this. I would say to Dan, architect, I'm Pander Dan. The fact that you feel that way about relationships or breakups, the reason people don't give you that feedback or don't give you any of this other stuff or don't break any of this
because they're tired of my personality.
Well, because you're wasting time. What if your ultimate defect is that you literally spend so much time analyzing things or trying to find analytical data that it's wasted time. It's like telling someone, hey, when we had sex, why was it good? And someone's like, I don't know, it was good. Why did we stop doing this? I don't know, because it's stupid bad. And your defect is that you hyper focus on one thing, and maybe you like I need to know, why was it not percentage-wise good or bad? And you're like, someone's like, God damn it, I don't know. And then answering this question is more wasted time. I don't know.
But
Like, what if that's your only defect, dude? How would you know?
It is, because I like to analyze almost everything. I would like to understand almost everything. And if I can't go back and like relive it, I'm going to keep pinging the person and be like, why?
Bing,
and that's what would piss off all of my exes, that I'd be like, what about this question? And they'd be like, just stop.
But you can't help it, right?
No, it's part of my personality, or at least it was
Maybe
up until.
Personality types are real. I have no idea. I sometimes think it's like horoscope bullshit a little bit. Like, everyone likes to hear the good things, like, you're very outgoing and you can change the world with your ideas and something. And it's like, they could say that for most people. Not everybody, but most people, right?
I also think there's a sexist version of it too, that like people don't talk about how if you're a male, you have certain personality types. If you're a female, you have certain personality types. The percentages probably vary widely between the two sexes. Because I can't imagine that there's a female version of me out there with the same kind of questions, the same type of personality. I don't think it's an equal match.
It's so weird. I almost was going to guess that the female percentage of architect or whatever is probably in the 2% range.
You think that the females are the majority, or you think they're a fraction of?
A fraction of, but I think it's the same fraction that there are a fraction of men.
Maybe.
2% is a low number.
But like to interact with a female that is an architect type and to find them and date them, it's almost impossible.
I would agree with that.
There we go. My type is.
I wasn't arguing with you. You're like,
no, it validates me as a person, though. I was like, searching for that architect type is almost impossible, and then eventually you find them and you're like, well, F-er. Figures.
People out there don't even know what working with other people is, which is crazy. Up till A&E, I was just working with like 3 people. The fact that, though, that I knew them so well, like it was like relatives and people I work with on a day-to-day basis, when I work with like 3 or 4 people, like I know them so well.
Mm-hmm.
So that they don't just fill the trope. Like it's like gym rat guy. Like a gym rat guy is also a conspiracy theorist. Also, he wets the bed. Also, he talks about his daughter too much. Also, he friggin' is late every Friday, but no other day of the week. Like, there's so many weird things that don't fill into the trope. There's 7 billion people in the world. I think these tropes get dangerous where we think everyone will fill one of 15 or 16 personality types. When really, you lean towards a personality type, and then you have your own stuff going on. Would you agree?
I do.
7 billion of us drinking wine here, doing a podcast.
Nice.
Ooh, it's an old wine, but a goodie.
Is that a 2018?
It is. This has been open in our fridge. It's half open.
Oh.
It's up to here. It's been there for at least a month, so I'm not sure if that's bad for red wine.
Gaining the flavors of the fridge.
Do you know the fridge in Delaware? Every time you opened it, it smelled like fish.
Was there fish in there? Was the question that people asked? No.
You know that storm we had? Wait, you don't know.
I don't know.
East Coast has been bombarded by bad weather. I went on vacation for 2 days. Do you know how much it rained?
Every day.
Every hour. Extreme wind in excess of 40 miles an hour one night. Extreme rain. Almost hurricane force. So I have one brother-in-law. I won't get into his personality type, but he drinks a lot and he's a lot of fun. We stripped into our unders. Is that a word? Unders?
Yeah.
And ran into the hurricane onto the beach, which was awesome because the storm surge through the water like 18 feet above usual. It went all the way up to our sand dune.
Huh.
Oh, I'm telling you, the house almost flooded. It was coming in the sliding glass door wasn't made for this kind of rain. It's horizontal rain because it's being pelted at the house because we're beachfront property we stayed in. Mm-hmm. Started leaking it into the door, which then made it into the joists and followed along the joists. We had 2 holes that appeared in the ceiling and started ripping the ceiling apart and dripping into our house. We had to call the people we rented from. We're like, we didn't do this. Your house is falling to pieces. Another thing that's weird. Did you know toilets always have to have ventilation? Like the water is always the plumbing has to come up to a point where the atmosphere touches it.
I don't know.
It's not a vacuum.
What you're talking about.
I'm getting into this. If you're in a hurricane and you're in a house with a toilet, the water raises and falls crazy levels. So like the water was. While you were standing there looking at it, I was like, dude, what's going on in the toilet? He's like, you don't know? You don't know in the house, atmosphere is going up and down, wind is going crazy. Like the wind wasn't shaking the pipes, the atmosphere.
Water level was being fluctuated by the wind.
Yeah, this happens in an extreme hurricane if you're near a coastal area.
And then fish fridge, does that play into this somehow?
No, but I did get nude, and not nude, but like in my underwear, and ran out into the storm because I thought it would be cool just to feel a hurricane and be on the beach and everything. 40 mile an hour in wind? No. I felt like I was hitting with needles. Every part of my body was getting pelted with raindrops that felt like sharp pin drops. It was terrible. And then I turned my back on it, and it was just pin drops in my back. So, shout out personality type. Extrovert, works real hard, but drinks a lot. Brother-in-law, shout out. There's another reason I brought this up. There's one other thing to get into. Oh, he's not passive aggressive.
Like other people?
Everyone at jobs is passive aggressive.
They'll drop a hint, hoping that you get it, and then you never do, and then they become more aggressive until they stop doing it.
Well, I mentioned in my memo earlier. Didn't notice.
Yeah.
Huh? You don't have a lot of passive aggressive stuff at your job?
I'm too blunt.
Oh, you're not passive aggressive.
Yeah. They'll be passive aggressive, and I'll be like, are you passive or you are aggressive? And they'll be like, he's being aggressive. I don't know how to react to this. And then by the time they finish reading the email, I'm like at their desk, like, were you sure? And they'll be like,
so weird. I've never worked with you. I feel like I would hate you. Not hate you. That's a bad term. I wouldn't really hate you. We get along fine. But I feel like we don't work the same.
That's true. Most people don't work like I work. And I
Most
understand
people work like I work. Stop.
Yeah, but there's a point where this gets into so much detail. We need to talk about. We need to have an episode where I talk about my own job, and
I didn't get into my new job, which I love. Hate. It's awful.
We didn't talk about salary structure either. Money.
No, we didn't.
We can.
Mine's very commission based. Actually, not that commission based. My job's very car salesman, but without the
tackiness.
Like you have to. Yeah, the one guy here is a car salesman. I'm pretty sure he just ended up in marble and granite. I get people to sign contracts to say they're going to buy X amount of marble and granite, and I make sure they love the granite or the marble or the limestone or whatever countertop they want to buy, and I make sure that the measurements are right, and I make sure that they don't need a sink, and that they do or don't need plumbing, and that they do or don't need rounded edges on their countertop, and that they do or don't that, and then they sign off. We fill out the checklist, and then they pay the money, and the installers do their thing. I don't even go near it.
Yeah, so you get base pay plus commission.
Correct.
So how would
you need a backsplash, like everything else, like whatever?
So it was like my dad he worked on commission like his entire life. He got very little base pay, but a lot of commission. And then there are people that also get like bonuses based on how much they sell. I don't know if there's a bonus structure for.
Correct. They have 4 bonuses they give out every month. It's for most percentage closed, because you start a firm, not a firm. You start an invoice with an employee, and then not everyone closes. Because granite and marble, it ain't cheap. Like you can buy a countertop, you're spending like $6,000. Like it's like ooh,
yeah, it's a lot of money.
Right. So some people come in and get frayed, won't close. Some people get afraid and then buy with a competitor. Some people do this. You know what I mean? So it's percentage closed is a winner. Most granite or marble moved is a winner. Most money moved is like a winner. And then there's one other winner. I forget what the hell it is. But the idea is the top 3 are always just the best salesman of the month. and the bottom one, the close percentage, is usually like some chump who's near the bottom. Because like think of it, he's only getting 12 customers this month.
He can close
who are
all
really
of them.
serious. He can close 10 of them. That's a high percentage. The top guy, he might see 100 guys a month because they always send to the top salesman. But like it's like people walk in, people who aren't really interested, like they're screwing up his percentage. So,
do you think that's a good scheme? I mean, it makes the certain class of people work
it
harder.
It isn't.
Yeah.
Right. The other thing I've noticed is that some people seem to really be interested in it. Like one guy was all about the percentages, and I got to upsell this, and I got to make the bonus.
Trying to game it.
This. Yeah, he was, and I respect him for it. If that's what he wants to do, like that's his focus. I also met someone who's been there for 10 years, which is the second oldest guy who's been there. And he's like, I don't care. I'm like, excuse me? And he's like, I'm going to make commission. I'm going to make base. I'm going to be fine. I'm not going to like break my neck for 3 extra sales. He's like, if people want to buy marble and granite, they'll buy it. And I'm like, whew. I'm like, I like your attitude, actually.
Yeah.
Someone would be like, I don't like this guy. And the managers don't seem pushy. Like, they're not like, get your numbers up to anyone. Like, they're just literally doing their own thing.
So are they watching
like,
you the whole time?
No. They're trying to do their own thing. Anytime you talk to them, it's bothering them.
Are you on an open floor where everyone can see you?
Yeah, but you take people wherever you want. Like, I can go back into the marble and granite yard and give them the business. I can take them to the bathroom. You can go anywhere in the store. Like, there's no...
If you're on your phone, do people see it, and do they think negatively of you?
Yes and no. They promote you to download all this stuff on your phone. Like the software that tells the price listing and all that stuff. So everyone's always on their phone. They're like flipping through it. And I'm like, is he just texting someone? Like the funniest was the one guy who's been there a long time. Like I was like shadowing him. Like they got me like kind of following people. And I was like, what's he doing? And someone was sitting in front of him like, we're looking for a countertop. And he was looking at his phone and I'm behind him. And he was like, just texting someone. I was like, okay.
So in my line of work, I started in an office with 3 people, moved to an office with 2 people, and like these are like offices with walls. And then I moved to a new building that was open floor plan, but you had cubicles that had walls that were maybe like 5 feet high. So it's wildly open. You could hear all the conversations. And now I moved to an office that has 3 to 4 people in it, and it's cubicles, but they're higher walls. So of those environments, I probably liked the office ones more because they're quieter and I get more secluded. It's not, I don't know. I feel like the one with the 5-foot walls, you can make friends with people more often, but the types of people that are in my business are not people that I like to make friends with. Sorry.
2% of the population.
Yeah. Right? I don't match up well with other people, and I don't make friends that readily. I'm polite and nice to them and cordial, and I can talk to them. It's just I don't share my intimate thoughts with them because I don't trust them.
What are they going to do with your information?
Who knows? I don't trust people.
So that's my question. Do you think they're going to like use it to get better at business than you? Is it a business thing or personal thing?
Oh, this is going to get into another anecdotal story.
This is easy. This is easy.
What's the question? They think it's going to come after me?
Business-wise or personal-wise?
I think it's business-wise. I feel like it would come up and someone would know something, and then I'd have to like tell a story about why I do a podcast or why I said this one time.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But business, though.
Yeah.
So the reason you're nice or not nice or open or not open is for business. I heard a business. Yeah,
I heard a story about a week ago from one of my managers who was responsible for giving promotions. Yeah. They're responsible for giving promotions. And she told me a story about one thing I did one time when it was in overtime and I had to pick up my kids and I left apparently in front of a NASA customer, which didn't happen. I'm going to say this, in front of a customer. It didn't happen. But like, it's a roundabout way of her telling me that the managers know that something bad happened and I never got to answer it. So like all these clandestine things happen behind your back. And it's a bad situation. So, like, I already moved away from that bad situation because I realized it, like, 2 years ago that I needed to do that. So, like, the people that are also in that office, like, they didn't have my back. So there are certain people that I was just like, I don't trust. I need to keep you away from me. I can't even have a conversation with people in an open office setting because they'll know through a proxy that I said this that will make its way back to me via 3 other managers, and I just don't want to deal with it. Like, the possibilities are there, so I don't do it. So that's another thing, that business settings are terrible because you just can't let yourself be open. You can't talk freely.
What I'm getting from all this, honestly, if we break it down, is that no, is that people are the downfall of everything. It's never the business itself. We're never talking about the way it's derived. It's if anything's going to happen bad, it's because people take it the wrong way, or people ruin it, or people do this or that, or people try and usurp your power, or people don't listen to you, or people
manipulators
take what you say and manipulate. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that's the way it is, that's the way it is. I mean, last U.S. Stat I read was it's somewhere between 59 and 63, because I have 2 numbers, 59.7 and 63.2% of the U.S. population is employed, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like
half.
7 out of 10. I'm rounding
2 out of 3-ish.
6 out of 3. We'll say 2 out of 3 almost. People are employed, work in an office, work a job, have coworkers, have people they trust or don't trust, share with or don't share with, go to the gym before they see them or don't go to the gym before them. That's most of us, right? I mean, that's taking into account that babies don't go to work, I believe.
And people who are retired or done working.
And people who are too old.
And people who are unemployed. So what was your main point on that one?
I forget, but 85% of people from 25 to 54 are employed.
So they're in the prime age range, is what you're saying.
Sure. But I mean, it's like, obviously, someone's 6. I actually read that teenagers are working less right now. You know what that is, though, right?
So there's like an age shift.
Way too many. Oh, they're involved in way too many after-school programs because they got to get into college. Right?
Which will pay off later on.
You would think. I actually hope the college bubble bursts. I said that on air.
I hope so, too, yeah. I agree with you.
It's stupid. I just signed up for a 10-year repayment on my loans. I'm 33.
You'll get there when you're 43.
Yep. I've been paying $540 a month.
Jesus.
Roughly. Right. I've been paying that since I graduated. And I will pay that for, well, no. The 10-year payoff was much lower. I just wanted a much lower payment. Anyway, I signed up for a 10-year payment. We'll see if it holds, and I'll be paid off at 43. So, shout out.
All your vitality will be gone.
It already is, just talking about it.
Phlegmatic.
Actually, you know what's crazy? If everyone, there's talk that people might just stop paying their student loans to be funny.
They should. Like, everyone.
If they did, shout out, I do it too. Sure. So everyone, unpanders will promote not paying off your student loans. They can try and mess up your credit, but if everyone does it at once, they're not going to screw an entire generation's credit, right?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Sally Mae, we're coming for you. Navient, Nelnet, a lot of these companies. I said this. How friggin' crazy would it be? Hear me out. This is a fantasy I had one time. Everyone who works at Sally Mae gets cancer. Everyone. I'm not wishing that on, but hold on. Everyone. The receptionist, the president, everyone. And then they were like, wow, this is crazy. Weird coincidence. We're going to hire like 30 new people. Some people died, whatever. All the new people they hired got cancer. Would you sign up to work for them? Would you? If they were offering $1 million a year, would you?
So you're hoping that no one ends up working at Sally Mae and then the organization dies.
At what point does an organization go, we just can't? No one will work for us. Like, is that a real thing? Is that possible?
There's always someone.
Someone would do it?
For millions of dollars, yeah.
So now they're paying $3 million for someone to come answer the phones at Sally Mae?
Mm-hmm.
Would they do that? Or would they
$5.40 a month. What did you say?
Well, you're right. I'm paying $5.40
Yeah.
a month or whatever. So
All you suckers out there still paying your
listen,
student
not all of
loans.
us had, you know what I mean? People were going to help us pay.
Do we want to cover up on recap on personality?
Let's
Different
recap
types.
everything on personality and Sally Mae.
Yeah, we had the humorisms. We had the 4 different temperaments with the bile, the phlegm, the sanguine,
Which I think
choleric,
was wrong, by the way.
melancholic,
I think it was
phlegmatic. No, I don't. Well,
At
it
this
is
point in my life,
wrong.
I
It's
think
not
that-
science. It was done a long time ago, so it's
Could
not
be right.
accurate.
We don't know.
Yeah, we got the sensation, intuition, thinking, feeling, extroverts, introverts.
Yeah, I remember that. Extroverts and introverts.
Carl,
Write that one down.
Carl,
folks. Extrovert, introvert.
Carl Jung.
Carl Jung.
Yep,
Carl
and then
Jung.
Myers-Briggs. They had the extroversion, introversion,
Myers-Briggs.
sensing, intuition, thinking, feeling, judging, perceiving. That's what we covered. 16 different personality types. I'm an architect type. Nick is not. He's a campaigner.
Campaigner, folks. I'm going to campaign for you. I should be a politician. The smear campaign would just be this
You're
show.
a campaigner. Then we got into the traits.
Literally did this.
The traits are more scientific. Got openness to experience, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism, which people subscribe to more.
Mm-hmm.
And then the word of the podcast, surgency, positive affect, and management and work, and all those people that are different personality types and different types of workers, different types of friends,
I agree.
corporate shills.
Ooh, we didn't even say shill, but I agree with that. Then we ended up with Sally Mae. Anyone who works there is probably going to get cancer.
Probably not.
I hope not. I mean, I hope not.
Unrelated.
I love those people. I love them.
They just sell your loan to somebody else. Navient.
They did, actually. Yeah. How did you know which one it was?
I
Hey,
don't.
it's not Nelnet. It could be Nelnet. You could be talking out your butthole here. Anyway, a lot of people got student debts because they want to work in the workplace and work with all these wonderful people. I mean, ultimately, what is the workplace? It's a high school continuation. I looked up immediately after I was done looking up all of our coworker types. The comedian, the joker, the mass murderer. My next search was high school personality types. Do you know what I found?
Same list.
They're almost the same goddamn thing. So really, it's anytime you're surrounded by more than 30 peers, more than 50 people, you run into categories you want to put people in.
They say high school never ends.
And it kind of doesn't, right? There's the comedian at work. There's a comedian in high school. There's the hot mess at work. There's the hot mess in high school. I mean, there's literally any of these lists could apply to any of them.
Yep.
In high school, the quiet one, the moody one, the dream crusher, the talker, the honest joker, the high school scapegoat instead of the office scapegoat, the none of my business one, the cooler, that's a cool one that everyone wants to hang out with, the big surprise, that's someone who loved and now you hate, the slacker, the eater, the hard worker, the motivator, the responsible one, and the teacher's pet. Was that a high school list? No, it's a list I went through earlier for coworkers. It's the same damn list.
Yep. That's
we're all just high school. We're all just high school people older. That's all. That's all it is. We're just older.
Yeah, a little more antipathy for me. Well,
the onus is on them.
Give them the onus.
The onus.
Let them take that onus.
Lastly, I did want to say, because no one thinks of this, I know I said the high school thing continued is our coworkers. This is the last high school setting you may have in your life. Work.
Tears.
I mean, think about it.
People hold on to
it. As you're in it, you hate it. I hate my boss.
Until you retire, and then you wonder.
But when you retire, you look back the same way I look back on high school, and you say, I remember the jokester. I remember Kenny one day. He came in. He had a whole bunch of donuts. He slipped. They all fell on the floor. No one ate a damn donut that day. Like, there's stuff you'll remember fondly, even from this. because I don't know that there's a next high school. It could be the old person's home, but I don't think everyone makes it. So really, enjoy your high school continued, because in a way, we're a little bit the jock. We're a little bit the nerd. We're a little bit the popular girl. We're a little bit the outcast. And we're going to raise our fist at the end of the episode, and that song at the end of the Breakfast Club's going to play.
I wish.
That's what's going to happen. It might.
If you edit the episode, it might.
So thanks for joining us. Thanks for talking about all the different worker personality types and whether we're a jerk at home or a jerk at the office or a jerk off at every time of day.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, everyone's in sleep right now. I might jerk.
Oh, you got some time.
Just saying.
Well, thanks for watching, folks, and listening.
And listening.
We're going to make sure the stream ends now.
Donate to your Patreon. Donate to our... Don't donate. We're not a pander.
No,
we're really not panders.
Don't.
I will say we like you. We like you.
A lot.
Mm-hmm.